day 9 of Bookmas. Popped a question box on my Instagram, which I am starting to use again. I'm trying to get back onto being better on all social media, not just TikTok. Popped a little question box on there and said to ask me some bookish questions and we will answer them in a video. So this is the first one. We'll probably do this again in the future, so definitely pop me a follow over there and look out for that. First question asked was, do I tab/highlight? And for me, I think this is very dependent on the book. So I do have tabs, I have highlighters, and I don't tend to highlight as I'm going. I tend to tab and then come back and highlight if I want to highlight. Through phases, I think. Sometimes I just like want to tab everything and highlight everything and like annotate. But then other times I'm just like, I just want to read. If anything that I feel like I want to come back to later, I will just go grab a tab and tab that little bit. But that's what I do most of the time. I think I don't tend to go towards tabbing a lot. I just feel like I get too immersed into the story and then I forget, unless I really want to remember things. So for example, with my ARC read of Legacy of the Heirs, I tabbed so much, and I could have tabbed more, but I was running really low on my tabs, so I had to be like very scarce with my tabbing. Depends on the mood, the vibe, how I'm feeling. Next question was how to get out of a slump. I think it depends what kind of slump that you are in, and I get asked this all the time on TikTok live, so when we're doing reading sprints, I don't know why. Go for something really fun, quick, easy, something you don't have to think about, that you can just read and enjoy. So I tend to have like my comfy authors like Sarah Adams, Elle Kennedy, Lindsay Kelk. I have like a list of authors that I know will give me that vibe when I need it. However, sometimes you don't need that, and it is about figuring out what kind of a slump you are in, identifying why you're in the slump, what has caused the slump. If you are reading a lot of the same books, maybe that is a sign that you need to switch things up. If you've been reading a lot of, for example, romance, you still want that kind of romance element but a different vibe, I would go for like a romantasy, or like if you want something like a bit more, maybe even a fantasy, or something completely different like a crime thriller book. Just switching it up to something that you wouldn't usually do, and I find that is always the best time to push yourself outside of your comfort zone, because you are a little bit more open to trying new things because you just want to get out of this slump. Sometimes I feel like you just have to ride the slump out, and this happens to me a little bit more now, where I know once I've got to a certain point of a slump, I know I just need to not try and not force myself to read, not force myself to do anything. What my body is telling me to do. If I need to go do another hobby and come back, that is fine. So like I might need to go colour for a week. I might need to game a little bit more, and just swap in like that time. Instead of just swapping it for scrolling on my phone, I will try to swap it for like a hobby of some sort. If anyone has any other slump tips, definitely drop some below. I probably have more, but do you know when you're like trying to think and then nothing in your brain works? The next question I got asked was, what is my favourite place to read? And I honestly don't mind where I read as long as I am comfy, and that is the ultimate like result. If you are reading and you're not comfy, it's just try to do things to make my environment feel cozier. So for example, I added my firefly lights on the back of my bookshelf. I have a light on top that's like more of a pinky vibe if I want that. I have a light that dims, so it can go really dim or really bright depending what kind of vibe, and that also changes colours as well. So yeah, it just depends what I'm feeling, and I can change things to suit my vibe and my vibe. Next question was my fave and least fave tropes. Obviously, enemies to lovers is definitely up there. Lover best friends, brother, Do you know when every trope just goes out of your head? I love like a nice little found family vibe. Least favourites. Accidental pregnancy. Horrific. Worst thing ever. Amnesia. Oh! Do you know what's even worse? Accidental pregnancy and amnesia together. Oh, horrific. Worst concoction. Wish I don't know any tropes. Even though I do. Who are your auto buys? What books are you waiting to release next year? Oh, Laura Carter, auto buy. Elle Kennedy, she's kind of an auto buy. Sarah Adams, auto buy. Elsie Silver, auto buy. Do you know when you just can't think? Catherine Doyle, Catherine Webber, auto buy now. Obviously SJM. Do you know when I just forget every single book ever to exist? Lindsay Kelk, Lila Sage, Whiskey Business, Elliot Fletcher. I will buy anything she writes now because I loved Whiskey Business so much. If you were to write your own book, what genre would it be? I feel like it would have to have some kind of romance in there. I feel like it would be like a really Hallmarky vibe. I feel like maybe coffee shop, bookstore. I don't know. I wouldn't ever write a book. I'm not that clever. If I, for some reason, ever did think, oh, I'll write a book, show me this clip and be like, girl, you can't write. I just would not be able to execute it how I would want it. I'm not great with words. I struggle to articulate my thoughts on a day-to-day basis. Never mind trying to write a whole ass novel. I have massive respect for anyone who does sit and actually write and publish a book, because like that's a whole, like, there's having an idea, but being able to execute it well is a different thing. Favourite bookish business. My very, very top favourite bookish business is Dumblin Club. And I feel like that is very, very well known by now, let's be honest. I have every single bookmark, every single Kindle skin, so many DBC jumpers. The scrunchies I wear constantly. Like, this is just one of like Chloe's old ones, so it's not even how she does her scrunchies anymore. But I just use them daily. The tote bags. I could talk all day about DBC. I just love DBC so much. I don't know if it still works, but I think you can use code MEL on checkout and get money off, but I don't 100% know if that still works. Try it out. See if it works. It might not. Who knows? Give it a go. Do I listen to music when I read? So I used to read in complete silence and I couldn't stand the thought of music. However, when I started doing reading sprints and on live, I decided to go for some lo-fi, because it's just very awkward reading in complete silence when you are being filmed. I don't know, it's just a bit like, So I do now struggle to actually read without lo-fi. I discovered lo-fi through my small business days, and I brought that over to my reading thing. I don't think anyone really used lo-fi in their reading sprint lives. They used to all just be silent, and I was like, I can't do this silent thing. Like, I need me something in the background that's just a little something, like really quiet. And I thought, oh, lo-fi, because it's not that distracting. So yeah, I gave that a go, and I love a bit of lo-fi. Can't go wrong. Are you a series binger, or do you like to split them up? My answer to this is probably going to shock people, because I would like to be a series binger. However, I get distracted by shiny things, aka other books, and I like to like put a book in between just to give that first one breathing room. But if I'm like completely in, I can easily binge a series. But yeah, I tend to get a little bit distracted, but that is something that I'm trying to work on. But I do like to try stay in that world as long as possible. So if I've got like 500 series on the go, then I'm in all these different worlds. But then that's where it can be a little bit confusing, which is why one of my goals for 2025 is to finish off some of the series that I've started, because I kid you not, I have more than 10 series currently on the go, unfinished. About it the other night and I was like, damn, I really need to sort some of this out. So yeah, I don't really know. I think I'm both. I think I'm just very much a mood reader. So if I wake up one day and I'm reading a fantasy and I'm not feeling a fantasy, I will just swap out for a different book because it's just easier. We will end with a genre that I would like to read more of. So I have been reading a lot more fantasy, romantic vibes, and I am really enjoying it, but I just still like to go back to my like little romance, quick easy reads, because sometimes when you're in fantasy worlds, like my brain hurts if I read like too many fantasies, like I can't read them back to back. So I would like to read more fantasy that's like more plot driven, like not really romantasy. I tend to go for more of a romantasy because it's just like a nice little in between. I found that a lot of like the book talk popular fantasies that I've tried to read or haven't enjoyed as much have been those that just kind of forget about their plot a little bit because they've got some romance and there's a little bit of spice. Or for a little bit more dystopian-y vibes as well, because I do like a good dystopian vibe. So maybe that is something I need to consider in the next year. That is it for today. I thought I'd just do a nice quick one because there is a very, very, very long video coming. Stay tuned for that because that is going to be a very, very long video. I've been editing as I go along and I think I'm on 29 minutes. I will see you guys in the next video. If anyone has any questions as well that they do want me to answer in a future video, do drop them below, or I look out on my Instagram. I will probably put another question box on in the future. And I also want to say again, thank you to everyone that has subscribed so far. To be as far like 100 and I think 8 subscribers or something like that. It's crazy. I didn't expect that many people. I literally thought it was going to be me and Chloe and Laura and Marky, and that was it. But obviously some of the guys from TikTok have come through and I do appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do go down below and subscribe because I'm posting every single day in December. Some videos are longer, some videos are shorter. It just honestly depends. And yeah, I will catch you next time. Bye.